Hey everyone, it's Zora and back with a new video, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build multiple LEGO Links, and you might be wondering, Brick 101 already did this video, and that is very much true. However, many new pieces have come out since then, and I've used them to my advantage to build these brand new LEGO Links that I'm very happy to have. So yeah, let's get right into this video. First off, I'm just going to push all of these mask transformations to the side because I've already made videos on all of them, link in the description below. So starting right out, I'm just going to say that I will be doing a similar thing to Brick 101 in terms of listing them off. Because this is going to be a very long video, there are time codes in the description below linking to each individual version of a link, so use those to find the link that you want to see how to build. So yeah, let's just jump right into this video. Starting out with Young Link, this took a very long time to get to the point where it is today. You can see Shaggy's arms are used right here, Peter Pan's body, Marge's skirt piece, as a matter of fact. This is what it actually looks like, however I cut it, and I think that it's very easy to do that. And then you can see, of course, just some little hobbit legs used right there to represent the youth smallness of him. And if you do not wish to cut pieces, which I do very much understand, it's very simple. You can just, you know, use it without, and I think it looks very good still. I mean, I don't think it's much of a downgrade. You can see right here, the head used is actually from the little kid from Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, I should say. And this hair is actually from a dog tamer character from the LEGO minifigures series. Now, there are many potential different accessories you might want to give your Young Link. This one is a slingshot from the Simpsons series. This is the sword Sting from the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series, and I think it looks a lot like the Kokiri sword. And here are two different ways to make the Kokiri shield. This one is just using a average LEGO shield from a certain minifigure from the LEGO minifigures line, and I just put on a red stud, and that kind of represents the symbol. And another one is just a 2x2, you know, circular piece with a stud in the middle and a gun piece on the back to help it be held. This one's better because it's a little bit smaller, but it also is very clunky in use. So yeah. One thing I've experimented in the past is with paint. Of course, I made a lot of different custom minifigures fully painted. However, just on this one, you can use just a bit of paint to give that skin texture to make it look like they're wearing boots instead of boots are just their entire pants. That's useful. However, purists might not like that, and sometimes I don't even like that as a semi-purist myself. So yeah. Now, last but certainly not least, I will mention that this is my Ocarina of Time Link, and if you do build it like mine, which I very much do like, by the way, then the color is not the same in terms of hair and body to the Young Link, which isn't a huge problem for me because you don't usually see them around because they are the same person. But if you do, if that does kind of make you crazy, then you might want to use something like this for a body for Young Link, and this is the same body I used for Adult Link, just, you know, an average bright green body from just a citizen in the city line, and then of course the Robin's arms from the new LEGO Batman movie works perfectly for that. And now finally, Ocarina of Time Adult Link. The reason I made this entire video was just because I built this and I liked it so much. My previous version was this one, which you might have seen in a lot of earlier videos, and while I think it is perfectly reasonable, and if people build this, I think it looks really good, it isn't perfect because you can see the skin instead of the sleeves, which is why I built this, because I found online this minifigure. It contained the perfect arms for an Ocarina of Time Adult Link, and that would be the green sleeves over the white longer sleeves, and I think that's perfect. So yeah, that's how I got those. Moving on to the legs, you can see these are from an Arabian Night minifigure, which I actually got some nail polish remover and wiped off the printing. However, if you are a purist like a lot of other people, and like me sometimes, then it's fine with the printing. It's not super noticeable, and I still think it's very good. And you can see the Master Sword that I used is actually from the Heroica line. It's one of the miniature ones, which is why it's so small, and which is why I don't use it all the time, because it is a bit small. So if you do not like that, you can always go for something a bit bigger, like this Master Sword. This is actually an El Barak designed Master Sword. I'm pretty sure he's on Twitter, and I think it looks really good. However, it is a bit too big. I use it actually for the big orange swords, like the edited, and you can always use this one, which is just a standard sword. It's not anything special, but it's also not horrible, so that's also good as well. As I have mentioned previously, this is just an average green t-shirt piece from a Lego City minifigure. You can see this hair is actually Aquaman's hair, which I think it's great. I love the color. However, it does not come with the hat, which is very sad, but Lego really doesn't make things like that. But still, you can see right here, his head is actually the older kid from the Lego Jurassic World sets, which I think just looks really great, and it's actually kind of cool because, again, my minifigure for Young Link uses the younger brother of this character, so it all connects. This specific shield piece I've mentioned pretty much every single time I've featured it in a video, which has been a lot. This is just your average, standard Lego shield, just your run-of-the-mill shield. However, it does have a Saber-Scorpion piece on it, a sticker piece, and it looks really, 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 really good. However, if you are a purist, again, you can just use your average standard Lego shield, but I really do recommend this. Saber-Scorpion will actually come up later on in the video when I talk about Twilight Princess Link. So yeah, let's just move on. And now moving on to the king of boats himself, Toon Link. There are many different ways you could approach this character. However, this is the approach I took. You can see him holding the Windbreaker right there, which is represented by He Who Must Not Be Named's new wand piece. You could also use a whole stud right through one of the small stick pieces to represent it. It might actually look better, but I guess it's all up to personal opinion. You can see the hair I'm using right here is the new Lloyd's hair from the Lego Ninjago movie, and you could always use something like this, something that's a bit brighter, more yellow than it is tan. However, I decided to use this just because it is more flowy, in my opinion. Of course, this head I am using is the new young Boba Fett's head, and I think it just looks really good in terms of, you know, the eyes, which is the most important thing, I would say, on Toon Link. You can see I used the little green man, army soldier bodies from Toy Story, and I just think it works the best out of all the other torsos. And I did do something that was inspired off of some painters in the past, which is use studs for his legs, because of course the Toon Link characters all have very stubby legs if you look at them, and I think that just kind of represents it. It does look a little bit off-putting, and you can always use something more traditional like some Hobbit legs, or just some square studs on the bottom, but I decided to use that for that, so yes. Of course, as in any Link, there will be many different accessories you can give him. This shield would be less accurate for him, this shield might be a little bit better, but who's to say? This sword, however, I think will be the best for Toon Link, better than any other Link, just because this is the actual, in real life, the type of sword that he actually uses, one with a very short guard, I guess is what you call it, the thing that protects your hands from oncoming swords. So yeah. Next up is the Link that I was most surprised by when he was fully done, and that is Twilight Princess Link. The reason I made this Link was because of Lord Voldemort's body, I'm just saying it now, and that is from the new Lego Harry Potter minifigure series, and you can see right there the reason it works is because the skin tone of Voldemort is white, and that is also the color of the shirt that is worn underneath the tunic of Twilight Princess Link, which works really well. You can see the legs is made just from some normal dark gray tiles, and then some gray studs and some brown square studs. I think that works pretty well. And of course, the head, which is the main attraction, the main thing that really brings it all together. If the Voldemort body made it work, then this one really brings it home, and that is the Saber-Scorpion printed sticker piece, and yes, I know if you're a purist you might want to change it somehow, however, I really do like the hair that's printed onto it, because that means that you can use this hat, and I think it just works really well, both in tandem. Of course, you can see he's using this bow, however, of course, you can use the elven bow to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit more detailed, and of course, you can use any sort of, you know, Ordon sword, and even this fishing shield from the Hobbit trilogy works pretty well for just an average shield that you might find in Hyrule in Twilight Princess. So yeah, moving on. Another one that I think turned out a lot better than I expected it to is this Lego A Link Between Worlds Link, which I think it just looks really good, especially because of this hair hat combo piece, which comes from Peter Pan, which is really good that it was made. And it is kind of bad because it has this red tipped feather, but I think the color scheme overall, connecting with this body, makes it work very well. And you can see it's also Peter Pan's head used here, which I think works really well too. Something that's kind of sad is these legs, and you can see that it has this brown belt. However, there is nothing underneath it, and that is because they do not make 1x2s in bright green yet, and if they ever do, maybe I'll make an update video. But yeah, now just like anyone, again, they can have accessories, and just starting out right here, this is the tornado rod, and there's the other rods that you can make yourself, but the really cool thing about this one is the fact that it has this piece, which actually comes from the new Lego Neville minifigure from the Lego Harry Potter minifigure series, the new one, of course, and I think it works really well in this telescope to make the tornado rod. I think it just works really well and looks really good. Of course, this sword, I think, is the one that's best for this specific iteration of Link, and of course, this shield also, I think, works better than most. And something I didn't mention in the Ocarina of Time Link, Adult Link, showcase, I guess, is this piece. This comes from the old Lego Green Goblin minifigure, and it's kind of rare. However, it isn't too expensive on Bricklink, and it works really well if you want to attach anything to his back, like a sword or a shield. I decided not to just because certain shields don't really work very well. However, you can perfectly. So yeah. Now, as we head in the direction of wrapping things up, I will mention, if you are wondering where a Skyward Sword Link is, well, there he is, right there. He's pretty much just made up of other pieces, and I think he's not too much of a difference from Ocarina of Time Link to signify a brand new minifigure. So that is why, not that I forgot him, because he's right here. So yeah, just look at that and build that if you wish to build a Skyward Sword Link. So yeah. And now you can see, second to last, this is Breath of the Wild Link, and the reason it looks so different than the ones I've put in all of my other videos is because of these legs, probably. These legs are the hiker's legs from a Lego minifigure series minifigure, and I think that really does help this minifigure, because overall I do not think he is specifically very good, because of just this body isn't great in terms of printing. It, you know, is very blocky because it does come from Steve from Minecraft. And one thing I will say is good is the items. This club is, I think, very good and very, you know, true to the game itself. And this shield also, I think, looks really, really much like the actual game shield. This is Boromir's shield from The Lord of the Rings, with one golden flat stud on it, which I think helps. And of course, it also, this minifigure has Indiana Jones's pouch piece, which also helps. And one thing I will say is there are many different costumes, some that you might even use more than this traditional one in the game. Probably definitely also. But this is the famous one, so I did make it. However, there are very many different ones that you could probably make much better than this one. So yeah. Now, last but certainly not least is the shadow of the Ocarina of Time Adult Link, and that is Dark Link himself. And you can see very simply how it was made. It's pretty much exactly this, except in black. Of course, I did not use the Indiana Jones pouch because that is, I used this on that one because it's brown. I decided to use this one, which is actually a sword sheath, but works very well to represent the same, you know, thing, the shadow of this one. And you can see the only real printed part is this piece, which actually comes from a specific Star Wars character, and that works really well just because of the very bright yellow eyes on top of this otherwise black body. And one thing that's not black, of course, is this piece because it does not come in black. However, gray also works, I would say. And of course, if you build this any way differently, maybe you add on like a different pouch or maybe a tunic. Of course, you can update this one. This tunic works fairly well, decent, and I'm sure there are other ones that I do not have that work as well, but for me, this works pretty well just as it is. So yeah. Now, I will mention right before we wrap things up that I did make all of the Ocarina of Time items, so you can go and view that video to, you know, give you some inspiration to build your own ones. Link in the description, of course. So yeah, moving on. And well, there you have it, all the different Lego Links that I've made. And I'm very, very happy that I've made them, because now, in following mocks, I'll be able to use different ones for different occasions, not just the one standard one that wasn't even very good for any of them, for every single one, like I have been in the past, which I'm very sorry for. But now, I have different ones, and I'm very happy with them all. So, yeah. Leave all of your comments in the comment section below. Please like this video if you like this particular video, and if you really like this video and want to see more things like this, of course, subscribe. And I guess I will see you guys next time.